In this part of the neuroanatomy terminology series, I will talk about the planes. There are 3 different planes how the brain or the spinal cord can be sectioned. And let's look, and they will all reveal different pictures, different structures. So here is the head with the brain in here. You can see. So if we would cut here in the midline, we call it the sagittal section. This would cut the head in half, creating an image like that. So these are described as the sagittal sections, the sagittal view of the brain. The sagittal section divides the space into medial and lateral aspects. Structures which will be closer to the midline will be described as medial. Those who are further away from the midline, they will be described as lateral. This line shows a mid-sagittal section, meaning dividing the head in the middle. However, sometimes sectioning can happen parallel to that middle line, and in that case we would describe it as parasagittal sections. And again, you can imagine the different structures will be revealed. The next way to cut up the head would be, and the brain, would be with these horizontal lines, and thereby we would describe it as horizontal sectioning, transverse sectioning, also commonly used, but in CT, MRI and imaging, radiological imaging, this would be described as axial sectioning. The image what we will get would be something like this, and this is we describe as the transverse or axial section, transverse or axial section of the brain. The horizontal axes or cuts will divide the space into superior and inferior parts. Anything above the line would be superior, anything below the line of cut or section will be described as inferior. And the third dimension we haven't used yet would be if we cut the brain front to back. This is called the coronal sectioning. Through coronal sectioning, we will see an image like this. Coronal sections will divide the space into anterior and posterior aspects. Again, something in front of the line of sectioning would be described as anterior to, and something behind would be described as posterior to the structure.